was telling me months later that she still missed and loved him, but I told her that her ex didn't replace her with another woman. He replaced her with peace and quiet. Ladies, if a guy who dumps you jumps right into a relationship with another girl, it means you are still important enough to react to. But peace means you stopped mattering. No revenge, no jealousy, no emotional speeches. Just cold, quiet absence. Because he realized a cold, hard truth, which is that his life felt easier without you in it. The chaos stopped, the arguments stopped, and the anxiety stopped. And as a result, so did his attachment to you. You expected him to chase you, beg you to come back, and miss you loudly. Instead, he adjusted and moved on with his life. But the most painful realization is that you are not the love of his life. You were the lesson. Because when a man chooses solitude over you, he has already accepted that you are not worth disturbing his peace. And that's not temporary, it's permanent. Ladies, the sooner you stop bringing chaos into a man's life, the longer your relationships will last. But I know women never listen to good advice until it's far too late. Subscribe and hit that notification. By the time they're 23 years old, most women have lived sexual lives that 95% of men will never get the opportunity to even experience. That's the real reason why women hide their pasts. You see, there's a reason that men brag while women erase. Because the same behavior that boosts a man's status destroys a woman's leverage. So her history gets edited, cleaned up, rebranded, and repackaged. Then when they're 28 and buying their own drinks at the bar, they use the excuse, "It was just a phase. I was young. I made mistakes." Translation: I did what I wanted when it benefited me. So now you're meeting her and getting the retirement version. Here's the cold, hard truth that men do not want to accept. You're not competing with her ex-boyfriends. You're competing with the sexual experiences she never told you about. The wild ones, the impulsive ones, the zero rules ones. It wasn't about love, it wasn't about commitment, and it damn sure was not about the future. It was attention, validation, and desire in the moment. But now that her nether regions resemble a roast beef sandwich, now she wants stability, consistency, provisioning, and emotional safety. You're not meeting her at the same stage other men did. You're meeting her after the experiment ended. She doesn't hide her past to protect you. She hides it to protect your perception of her. And modern women are keenly aware that perception controls opportunity. A woman's past reveals pattern, and patterns predict behavior. And if you ignore that as a man, you are volunteering for the consequences. That's just the reality. Subscribe and hit that notification. Exactly why when men book consultations with the intention of asking me how to get their ex-girlfriend back, I send them a refund and respectfully tell them that I cannot and will not help them. Never take back a woman who left you, gentlemen, because the moment she walked away is the moment she made a decision. Life without you looked better. Never forget that. She didn't leave by accident. She didn't get confused. She calculated and tested the market. Another man caught her eye. Another life looked easier. Another option looked stronger. So she rolled the dice. And now she's back. Not because you're special, but because the gamble failed. You are not plan A anymore, my guy. You're the recovery plan. The safe house, the emotional insurance policy. A woman who truly values a man doesn't walk away to see what else is out there. Instead, she locks in. When she left you, she told the world that you were replaceable. So if you take her back, that's when you confirm it. A man does not reopen doors that were closed in disrespect. Once she leaves, she forfeits a future with you. Let her remember you as the man she lost, not the man she could leave and still return to. Subscribe and hit that notification. Client who is dealing with a cheating wife, and I will never forget something he told me. He said to me, "I've never seen my mom ask my dad if she could go hang out with her guy friend." Different generation, different standard. Our gynocentric culture likes to say, "You're controlling, you're toxic, you're insecure, you're a misogynist." Some men just don't accept blurred boundaries inside of a committed relationship. When a woman truly respects her man, she naturally protects the relationship. Not because she's forced, but because she values the commitment of one man over the attention of many. Attention from other men stops being interesting when she's emotionally invested in. And most relationship problems come from the one silent lie that modern women have subconsciously bought into. And that lie is that you should act single even when you're not. That mindset creates total chaos. The fact of the matter is that relationships need boundaries to survive. Freedom without responsibility destroys trust. As a man, you're allowed to have standards. You're allowed to want exclusivity. You're allowed to want sexual loyalty. And you're allowed to want respect. And any woman shaming you for that is revealing her own values. The right woman won't call you insecure for wanting what commitment is supposed to provide. Instead, she'll call it normal, traditional, and healthy. Choose accordingly. Subscribe and hit that notification. You guys know I'm not the most religious guy out there, but if you believe in God, then trust me when I tell you, God saw how much you were willing to risk for that girl. That's why he removed her. And for that, you need to thank him profusely. You thought losing her was a punishment? It wasn't. It was protection. Because when a man is emotionally blind, he will sacrifice his future for temporary attachment. Personally, I've done this more times than I care to admit, so I can definitely attest to this. Fortunately for me, I've never allowed a woman to sink into the point of no return. So who knows? Maybe God intervened before I destroyed myself. But with this particular girl, you were willing to ignore red flags, overextend yourself, compromise your standards, boundaries, and expectations, and lose focus on your purpose. Not because she was perfect, but because you were attached. And attachment makes men irrational. And irrational men make very bad decisions. Sometimes removal is mercy, gentlemen. You don't see it immediately because the pain is so loud. But clarity always arrives later. And when it does, you realize that losing her saved you. If a woman is meant to stay, they stay easily. No confusion, no constant anxiety, no emotional chaos. Peace is a sign that you are aligned, while stress is a sign that you are forcing. So instead of asking yourself, why did I lose her? Ask yourself, what did this protect me from? Because not every loss is really a loss. Sometimes, if you're religious, losses are divine intervention. Subscribe and hit that bunch of time chasing a woman who didn't want him. So the quick math here is that when a girl pulls away from you, go radio silent, hit the gym, and replace her with new girls. There are billions of women on this planet. Never chase the one who's walking away. The biggest mistake men make in these situations is panic. They text more, they call more, and they try harder. You think effort brings her back? It doesn't. It lowers your value in her eyes. Attention given under pressure equals weakness detected. So I'm gonna teach you how to break the ego of any girl who pulls away from you. Rule number 1, 0 contact. No checking stories, no reacting to posts, no texts just seeing how you are or just making sure you're okay. You fucking vanish. Because absence creates curiosity and curiosity attacks the ego. She expected you to chase her, but you didn't. So now her brain really starts working. Rule number 2, upgrade yourself immediately. Gym, money, purpose, social life. Not for revenge, but for leverage. Nothing damages the female ego more than seeing a man improve after she thought she was your highlight. She wasn't. She was just a chapter. And when she realizes that, her ego takes another body blow. Rule number 3, replace scarcity with abundance. Meet new women, talk to new girls, date new chicks. Men often get stuck because they think she was special. She was unique. There is no one like her. None of that is true. She was just available. And there's a difference. Here's the truth that most men learn far too late. The man who can walk away is the man impossible to control. Never chase a woman pulling back. Let her go. If she returns, use her for sex. If she doesn't, you upgrade it anyway. I don't make the rules, guys. I just observe what works. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to get daily dating wisdom just like this. Because I know it's hard, but you have to detach from her. Let her be. Let her go. You gotta let it end, man. Some battles are won by walking away, guys. You're suffering because you're holding on to a woman who's already checked out emotionally. She changed, the dynamic changed, and the energy changed. But you're still fighting yesterday, and that's why it still hurts. As men, we tend to think that persistence fixes everything, and most of the time we're right. However, one of the few exceptions is when it comes to modern women, because the cold hard truth is that persistence with modern women destroys your dignity. Gentlemen, I am here to tell you, you cannot convince a woman to like you, you cannot negotiate attraction, and you cannot force effort. And the tighter you hold, the faster her attraction dies. Detachment isn't weakness, guys, it's self-respect. By detaching, you're communicating to the woman, if you don't see my value, I will not argue for it. Silence communicates standards louder than begging ever will. Plus, detachment does 2 things. Number 1, if she comes back to you, you see her clearly. If she doesn't, you've saved time. Either way, you win. But clinging to her is the only guaranteed way to lose her. In every relationship, every man reaches a moment where he has to choose between attachment and peace. Choose peace, gentlemen, because what is meant for you will not require you to abandon yourself. Subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily dating wisdom just like this. Asking me how to deal with certain types of women, and my advice to you guys is flirt with every girl, date the girl you love, use the girl who wants to be used by you, and commit to the girl who loves you. A man who confuses all 4 of these will ruin their lives. Flirting is practice. It builds confidence, social freedom, and charm. You're not committing, you're sharpening. The kinds of men who only flirt with one woman are the kinds of men who become very needy very quickly. And as we all know, neediness is unattractive. Now, dating the girl you love isn't the most convenient, it's not the most available, and it's not the the one chasing you. This is the girl you actually feel something for. Because attraction cannot be negotiated, guys. It either exists or it does not. Use the girl who wants to be used, but never commit to her. Because most of those girls don't want romance. They want excitement, attention, chemistry, and intensity. As long as you're honest, you're giving her exactly what she came for. The quick math here, guys, is that not every connection is meant to be together forever. So commit to the girl who loves you, not the girl you're obsessed with, and not the girl you're trying to win over, but the one who chooses you clearly, respects you naturally, and stays loyal without pressure. Because commitment without admiration, that's slow torture. I speak from personal experience many times over in this regard. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to get daily dating wisdom just like this.